wanted to jump on quick here and make a brief video about something that just happened. And it's like the rapid reaction to life. And I've been sharing, in this channel and my material about how, as a narcissist, understanding how your brain works and what the differences are and learning to work with that rather than fight against it and try to be like the normies actually can make a better, more satisfying life and actually help smooth out a lot of sort of the more chaotic interactions you might have in relationships. So just a little bit, actually, right before I came to start making this video, or a couple of videos, I had an interaction with a friend of mine, and she identifies herself as being an empath, and actually has like some psychicness that goes along with that, or seeing. And she was telling me about this whole experience, and it was very clearly very emotionally impactful for her. As she was telling me, she had tears a couple times because of what was going on. And I don't want to get into the details because that's not really the point of this video, nor my business to share with you guys. But I had, when I considered my own reaction response and what I said and how I took part in that conversation, it was putting some of these things we've been talking about into practice. So I'm going to tell you about that a little bit. Before we do, make sure you subscribe, give some thumbs up, drop some comments below. I love talking with you guys in the comments. All right. So because I've been on this adventure of waking up to my narcissism, really understanding how my narcissism plays out in daily interactions from a conscious standpoint rather than the unconscious standpoint that I had been operating in for most of my life. It's allowed for some different things to happen. So she was telling me about this stuff, and like I said, she was having tears on and off. It wasn't a real long conversation, maybe 5-10 minutes, but it was clearly very emotionally impactful for her. And in the past, what would have happened for me as soon as I saw that was happening was I would have started to panic. Now, subtly, I might not even have been aware of it myself, but that's the pattern. Panic because this person is in front of me expressing something emotional. That means they're expecting something from me that I don't know what it is exactly or how to give it to them. But I really better figure it out, because if I don't, they're going to figure out there's something wrong with me, my big secret, that I'm unlovable, so on and so forth. And so that panic would have then caused me to move immediately into a like a fake persona, whatever that might be, like, oh yeah, I really, I understand that must feel bad, or, whatever the case may be, but not authentic from me, because that wasn't happening inside me. Now I could identify and see that she was having this big emotional experience. And I've had emotional experiences, where I felt really sad or moved by something. And so I could relate on that level. But what wasn't happening in me was I wasn't feeling her feelings, or like my version of her feelings, like empathy. So I wasn't naturally having the experience that then would have led me to express something that would have met her desire potentially for some empathic response from the person she's sharing with. Now, this is a person that I've known for a while, and we've talked about my narcissism and how it shows up some. And I believe that she, because of those conversations, she's understands better now how these type of things work for me. So rather than do that, because I have more of this ease in myself now, because I've really been practicing some of the things we've been talking about, the little tactics and strategies and self-awareness and so forth, I was able to not get drawn into that panic and not go into that false self of trying to give her what I think she wants. Rather, I was able to stay within myself. And I made a suggestion, because she was talking about, I don't know how to describe it without getting too much into the details. I'll do my best. She was talking about potentially making a professional change that would involve some of this type of experience that she has had throughout her life that she's never really told people about or shared about, that can be really hard and painful and emotional, because she thinks, it might be helpful, and that might be a service that people would, pay her money for, she could make a living doing. But she said, I don't know that I want to draw more of this into my life, because it can be so hard and painful and stuff like that. And what occurred to me, based on a conversation I was actually having yesterday about, having many years of experience in a certain profession or healing modality. I'm a chiropractor and have been for over 20 years. It starts to become a leveling out of some of those intensities. And it's not just me. I mean, I have talked to other practitioners and that happens with them too. So what I suggested was, well, it's possible that if you start consciously and purposefully asking for more of these types of experiences, that you wouldn't just have the experiences that are painful and sad and all of those things. You might actually have more experiences with people on like the happy side of things that occur for them too. And so it actually might balance out a little bit and not be so intense. Now, whether that's a good suggestion or not, that's not the point here. The point is that where my brain went when unfettered by anxiety and feeling like I had to perform was naturally to some sort of strategic thinking or problem solving, right? The problem is she's thinking about doing this thing, but the problem being that it might be really hard and painful. So I'm thinking, well, okay, how might it not be hard and painful? How might you structure, that going forward in a way that would be more workable for you? And I had this idea, so I shared it. And at first, after I said it, I could see it didn't really land. And again, because of all the practicing and real work I've been doing to remain authentic and rather than getting triggered into my false self, I didn't panic when that happened. I thought, oh, that's interesting, that I gave her that response. But that's how my brain works, right? And then she said a few more things, and then a few moments later, she said, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that will happen. And she, had a little smile on her face, and that was the end of the conversation. But what was so cool about this moment it really has nothing to do with what she's going to do now. That wasn't the point. The point being that it actually works because of working hard and lots of rounds and practice of being authentic, even if it's not what people want, working to not get drawn down that path of the PTSD and anxiety, and just being true and who I am. I didn't have that panic response. I was able just to share what was so for me. She was able to receive it in whatever way that was going to land for her. And, the conversation went the way it did. And it wasn't like we're now both left with this dissatisfaction. Mine because I was fake, that would be dissatisfying. And hers because I'm giving her like fake food, like I'm trying to pretend that I'm being empathic and giving her an emotional response. But even if I'm really, really good at faking it, people can tell. You can feel that it's not authentic. And so rather than her walking away with that bad taste and me walking away with the bad taste of panic, we got to end the conversation both feeling like whole people that just had a conversation. And that is awesome. So just wanted to share that with you. It just happened, and I thought I'd love to be doing this with you guys. As things occur, just hop on and tell you what happened, where I'm at. And, my perspective on this might change. It's a process. We're all growing, changing, evolving. I'm on this adventure. I'm not at the end of it by any means. So hope that was useful. Make sure you subscribe, give some likes and thumbs up, comment below. Share this too. If you know somebody this would be valuable for, please share it. All right. See you guys next time.